Time for business. Emmanuel Abaji-Yafe is here. Good evening to you, Emmanuel. All right. It's the elections are over.
Sure.
But whether elections or not, there's still business.
It's still business.
Okay, so business continues.
All right, thank you very much. And thanks for joining me on Business. Now, a section of the public has been sharing expectations of the incoming NPP administration ahead of its inauguration on the 7th of January 2017. Among these are revamping the current state of the local industries and businesses, as well as controlling the depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the US, against other major international trading currencies. The NPP, during the campaign period, made many promises, including creation of a dam in every village and provision of jobs for the teeming unemployed youth. Speaking to Joy Business, some members of the public say they expect the president-elect to especially tackle the unemployment situation rigorously.
Lift the ban on employment and the government sectors. I think that will help. That will help put money in the youth's pocket. Yes. If there are a lot of people sitting at home doing nothing, so if they lift the ban, people will be employed, and if they are employed, they'll get work to do. And if they get work to do, they will get money in their pockets, and they will be able to purchase, which means the market women will also be able to make some money.
One thing that I want this present government to do, that it should revisit the old factories and rehabilitate them. Any viable, the one that will help the nation, you should rehabilitate it. And also the project that the previous government have done, they have not completed. In the field that it can help the nation, you should continue the project. If you do that, then it will help the unemployment situation.
Seems like most of the youth face problems acquiring their, like getting jobs and the rest, and if the government will try and help university graduates to get their own startups, like give incentives to banks who give loans to entrepreneurs or young people who have vision, who have the capability to establish their own businesses so that they can push the economy forward.
I want to speak about employment because most of the youth out of school are not employed, and that is a recipe for other social vices. So I would wish that the incoming government would give employment to the youth. A lot of them are unemployed.
Meanwhile, some analysts are blaming the current economic challenges on uncertainty surrounding the recently held elections. George Wiafe explores how the country could get things back on track once the election is now over.
One of the areas that some economists thought that have been affected badly because of the December 7 elections was the Ghana cedi and investments by private businesses into the country. According to the Bank of Ghana, the recent sharp decline in the value of the Ghana cedi over the past 3 weeks can be attributed to the uncertainty which surrounded the December 7 elections. Some analysts have also argued that most of the demand for dollars for next year's imports by businesses was basically due to the fear about the economic's direction post-elections. They also report that investment by foreign firms and even donors have slowed just because of the elections. But are things going to stabilize because elections are over? Economist Dr. Joe Abbey believes that it might take a while before things normalize, adding that the country will be rewarded greatly for what has happened over the past 3 days.
In 2000, when we got Ghana scored a first in terms of an elected president or prime minister, if you like, staying not just one term, full 2 terms as provided for by the Constitution, and hand over across the political divide. That's what we did in 2000. And the democracy dividend was not immediate inflows. The democracy dividend was a lowering of anxiety about Ghana to give the new government. Even so, the existing consolidation program, 1999 to 2002, did not last because there's this tension between the need for growth and financing infrastructure efficiently and the need to make sure that you are not caught in spending excesses, which may mean, so there's that tension. So I think that we'll be rewarded in terms of investor expectations, but if we are expecting a gush, we are fully asked.
However, there are some economists who hold the view that what happened at December 7 could address the perennial problem where economic activities slow down just because of an election season.
And economist Dr. Joabi says despite the ideals highlighted during the campaign period, the NPP administration could be made to take a second look at proposed policies when they finally assume office.
That's what I'm saying. You have the opportunity of entering into a new era in which there's more credibility in the judicial processes of the country. We must build on those. Because the uncertainty of political strife and turmoil is not going to help anybody. If you want a starting place for me, the thing will be for an assessment of all these power, whether power badges, whatever we have done there. We need a new government to be able to take stock of what is in the system, to look, and that is why a critical thing is going to be on this MCC, because you've got nearly 500 million committed to your energy sector, but we have not really convincingly sorted out labor at ECG on what this private investment means. And we should get out of just purely ideological overhangs. For me,
away from that, shares of ADB Bank are expected to start trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange on Tuesday after a successful initial public offering. More than 120 million shares will be traded on the market. The bank was able to raise some 326 million cedis during the offer, which some analysts have described as very successful. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Managing Director Daniel Esiedu says proceeds from the initial public offering will be used to fund the bank's expansion plans.
125 million will go to the shareholders who diluted, specifically Bank of Ghana. So net that comes to us is about 200 million Ghana cedis. And basically we are going to use that for branch expansion, improvement on our systems and software, for rebranding of certain branches, working capital in terms of what we have to improve on our liquidity. Mainly these are the things that we are going to use it for. And so if you look at it, 200 million is a lot of money. But if you look at the ambition we have for this bank, knowing that we think ADB is perhaps one of the strongest brand, if not the strongest brand. So we want to make sure that within a short period of time we become the best bank. And to do that in this market means that we need to do a lot of investment. And that's what we intend to do.
What about your capital requirement or even minimum capital? Some would say that the IPO couldn't have come at a quite better time when discussions are far advanced to actually review the minimum capital requirement for commercial banks in the country. Would a significant part of these funds also go to show up your minimum capital even before the Bank of Ghana announces that this is what we've decided on going forward?
Even before now, I think that we're in a very comfortable position. Our shareholders' funds was a little below 400 million Ghana cedis. And so with that, we were covered even if the minimum capital was increased from, say, 120 to whatever. But gladly enough, we are raising additional 200 million, which goes straight to the capital or the equity line or the capital line. And so clearly, irrespective of where Bank of Ghana takes it to, it means that when you consolidate, shareholders' funds comes to well in excess of 500, maybe close to 600 million. And that puts us in a better position to be able to meet whatever the requirements of Bank of Ghana in the nearest future as far as the minimum capital is concerned.
Now, Premium Bank has now begun full commercial operations as the latest institution in the banking sector. This was after the institution received its banking license from the Bank of Ghana sometime in the second quarter of the year. There's more in this report.
Premium Bank, formerly called City Investment Company Limited, is owned by the Vanguard Group. It has evolved into a bank after operating as finance house with a focus on small and medium enterprises in the last 20 years. So what has necessitated this transition? The Deputy Managing Director, Jacqueline Benya, explains to Joy Business after a session with the media.
I think our customers did. It was more them than us. They were pushing.
And what does Premium Bank intend offering to set itself apart from others in such a highly competitive industry? Madam Benya again.
What's going to be new is they will have different products available to them. They don't need to go elsewhere. And we recognize that for them, speed and convenience is critical. And with mobile money and the technology that is now readily available, I mean, look at the people who are using mobile money. They are our customers.
But some would also argue that that's virtually the same song that you have all the others singing.
Sometimes the song is the same. The difference is the execution.
That's what I want to know exactly how.
And see the execution, because I can tell you everything about execution. If you haven't seen it, you will still tell me that, you know, everybody has said so. So the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Premium Bank's entry into the banking sector brings the number of banks currently operating in the country to 33, including other new entrants such as Omni Bank, formerly Union Savings and Loans, and Sovereign Bank.
And that's all we have for you on the news by way of business tonight. Many thanks for your company. And for more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We have more stories coming up. Don't go away.